Most people misunderstand attraction. They think it is something you create with words, or thoughts, or statements repeated out loud. They treat it like a lever. Push here, pull there, and the world will align. It doesn't. Attraction is not a force you manipulate. It is a reflection. The law of attraction is not about wishing. It is about clarity, about the state you carry into every moment. Most people speak their intentions. They explain what they want. They list their desires. And then they wait. This is not attraction. This is distraction. Desire without alignment is noise. It signals hope. It does not produce outcomes. The world responds to action, not to statements. The law of attraction operates quietly. It responds to patterns, not slogans. What you think, what you notice, how you behave consistently. These are the magnets. Most people focus on the wrong part. They treat the signal as the mechanism. They believe that explaining a goal brings it closer. It does not. Clarity is internal. It is self-directed. It shapes perception before it shapes results. When you are clear about what matters, when your attention and energy are aligned, you notice opportunities that were invisible before. This is attraction. Not promises, not speeches, not public affirmation. True attraction begins with responsibility. Responsibility for what you think about. Responsibility for what you observe. Responsibility for what you allow to influence your attention. The mind is always moving, always searching, always forming patterns. If you leave it untended, it forms patterns that reflect drift. Patterns that produce results you didn't intend. Most people spend more energy describing what they want than creating conditions that produce it. This is why attraction often feels like chance, like luck, like something outside your control. It is not. It is precise. It is measurable. It is visible. If you understand it, you stop talking about desire as if it were a lever. You start observing alignment as if it were the engine. And that observation changes behavior. It changes focus. It changes the way you respond to circumstances. It changes the opportunities you allow yourself to see. Most people miss this. They mistake noise for signal. They mistake repetition of intention for creation. They mistake hope for preparation. Responsibility is the mirror here. It shows you not what the world will give, but how you are moving toward it. Not your dreams, not your wishes, your movement. The law of attraction does not bend to wishful thinking. It responds to consistent, responsible presence in your own life. And presence is quiet, unannounced, measured. This is where most people begin to fail. They want results without calibration. They want outcomes without alignment. They want signals without responsibility. The mirror does not lie. It simply reflects the patterns you carry. Most people discover attraction through experience, not theory. You notice it in small ways first. The decisions you make without thinking. The habits you repeat without reward. The patterns that emerge when you are consistent. These are what attract outcomes, not declarations, not affirmations repeated into the air. The mind tends to exaggerate impact. It celebrates intention as though it were execution. It assumes that speaking a desire creates reality. It does not. Reality responds to attention, to focus, to repeated action aligned with clarity. Most people confuse wishing with preparation. They spend time visualizing what they want. They repeat statements they hope will manifest, and they believe this is sufficient. It is not. The law of attraction works quietly. It is present in the details, in what you choose to notice, in what you refuse to tolerate, in the energy you carry into ordinary tasks. Small things compound, not loudly, not spectacularly, but steadily. Attention to small details signals capability. Focus on small actions produces consistency, and these are the true magnets. Most people overlook them because they are unglamorous, invisible, uncelebrated, but they are powerful. You can talk about your dreams endlessly. You can broadcast intentions to the world. You can repeat affirmations. None of it creates attraction without alignment. Alignment is internal. It is the repeated choice to live in accordance with your priorities, to notice what matters, to respond to reality consistently. Over time, alignment produces outcomes. Not because the world is bending, not because of luck, but because your actions have shaped the conditions that allow opportunities to appear. Attraction is recognition, not magic. It is noticing and responding, not wishing and repeating. Most people miss this. They focus on the signal instead of the mechanism. They try to broadcast before they build. They hope the world will meet them halfway. Responsibility corrects this. It keeps your attention on the work that matters, on the habits that matter, on the observations that matter, not on promises or appearances. Over time, this produces a quiet certainty, a sense that things are moving even when progress is invisible, that opportunities are appearing even when unnoticed, that attraction is happening because the pattern is there, ready to respond. At some point, attraction stops feeling mysterious. Not because you've figured out a secret, but because you stopped looking for one. You realize nothing dramatic is happening, no sudden shift, no cosmic announcement, just a gradual change in how you move through your life. Your attention becomes sharper, your decisions become cleaner, your reactions become slower and more deliberate. You begin to notice that outcomes are no longer surprising. They make sense. This is when people say things like, "Everything is lining up," or "I'm just in a good flow right now." But what they are really experiencing is alignment made visible. The law of attraction did not suddenly activate, it was always operating. They simply stopped interfering with it. Most interference comes from inconsistency, saying one thing, doing another. Wanting clarity, but feeding distraction. Wanting progress, but tolerating chaos. The mind cannot attract coherence while practicing contradiction. This is why responsibility matters so much. Not responsibility as pressure, not responsibility as guilt. Responsibility as ownership. Ownership of your attention, ownership of your patterns, ownership of the signals you send through behavior. Because the world does not respond to what you say you want, it responds to what you consistently reinforce. Every habit is a vote. Every repeated thought is a direction. Every tolerated behavior is permission. And over time, these permissions accumulate. Most people want attraction to feel exciting. They want signs. They want confirmation. But real attraction feels uneventful at first. It feels like fewer wrong choices. It feels like quicker course correction. It feels like a growing discomfort with things that no longer fit. This discomfort is not failure, it is calibration. It means your standards are changing, your awareness is sharpening, your alignment is tightening. And with that comes a quiet confidence, not optimism, not blind belief, confidence rooted in behavior. You trust yourself more because you are watching yourself act with consistency. This trust is magnetic. People respond to it. Opportunities respond to it. Circumstances reorganize around it, not because they were summoned, but because you were finally prepared to recognize them. Attraction, at its core, is recognition. You see what aligns with you because you have reduced the noise that once obscured it. You respond effectively because your internal priorities are no longer scattered. You move decisively because clarity has replaced hope. This is why attraction cannot be outsourced. It cannot be affirmed into existence. It cannot be repeated into reality. It must be practiced, quietly, daily, without applause. Most people never reach this point because it requires patience without reassurance, progress without visible reward, discipline without immediate payoff. But those who do stop chasing outcomes altogether. They focus on alignment, on attention, on responsibility, and outcomes follow as a consequence, not as a miracle, as a result. This is the part that rarely gets explained. Attraction does not reward desire, it reflects identity. Who you are becoming, moment by moment, through what you choose to think, notice, and reinforce. Change those patterns, and the reflection changes. Not instantly, not dramatically, but inevitably. The mirror does not rush, it does not negotiate, it does not respond to noise. It responds to consistency. And once you understand that, you stop asking how to attract what you want. You start asking a better question. What patterns am I practicing right now? Because the answer to that question is already shaping what comes next, whether you acknowledge it or not. That is the law, not of attraction, but of alignment. And it has been working the entire time.